Okay, good evening. Welcome to the Torah studies, Parshas Chayei Sarah. And the topic today is don't take the easy way out. We're going to learn a very interesting lesson about the story of the Ma'aras HaMachpelah. What is the Ma'arat HaMachpelah? This is the place, the burial place of Avraham and Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and their wives, and even Adam and Chava, Adam and Eve. This is right there in Hebron. We have the building, the beautiful building that we have in Hebron. If you have been there in Israel, this is the building that was actually built in the time of the Herodian time, Herod the Great, and this is like we said, in this place we have the burial place of Adam and Eve, Avraham and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, and Yaakov and Leah. And for this in this place, for many years, Jews would come to pray over here, up until the year 1260. 1260 was when the Mamluks, they took over, and 7 years later, they built the mosque next to it, and they forbade the Jewish people, anybody who was not Muslim, to go to that place. They're only allowed to go up to 7 steps, only 7 steps. And this lasted like this for 700 years, until finally it was in the year 1967, in the 6-Day War. The Israeli army liberated the city of Hebron, and once again, the Jewish people were able to enter and to pray in the place, and to play in they have even the places where it says the grave sides of Sarah Imeinu, Avraham Avinu, and so on. And today we're going to discuss about the purchase, the origin of the cave of Machpelah in the city of Hebron, and the purchase by Avraham Avinu. What happened was, when Sarah passed away, Avram's wife, Avram is looking for a place to bury him, and he knows that there's this special place, so he comes to the city of Hebron, and this place is owned by there was a cave over there that was owned by Ephron. Ephron was a very simple person. Avraham arose and prostrated himself, as we read, to the people of the land, to the sons of Chet. And he spoke with them, saying, if it is your will that I bury my dead before me, listen to me, and entreat me to Ephron, the son of Zohar. Now, Ephron ben Tzoicha, the son of Tzoicha, he was a very simple person. And here, Avraham, who was a very important figure in the whole region, he needs him. Ephron was very excited about it. And Avram says, I want to ask him that he may give me the Machpelah, the double cave, which belongs to him, which is at the end of his field, for a full price. Let him give it to me in your midst for burial property. So Avram asked them, please, I want to purchase this piece of land to bury my wife, Sarah. Now Ephron was sitting in the midst of the sons of Chet. And Ephron the Hittite answers Avraham in the hearing of the sons of the Chet, of all those who had come into the gates of the city, saying, he said, listen, no, my Lord, listen to me. I have given you the field and the cave that is in it. I have given it to you. Before the eyes of the sons, of my people. And he tells him, it's yours. It's all yours. You can have it. Before the eyes of the sons of my people, he says, I've given it to you. And I've given it to you, bury your dead. Okay? Now, Ephron makes a very generous offer. He makes a very generous offer to Avraham. I want to give it to you for free. Don't worry about paying. And like I said before, why? Because he was actually, that was the very fact that Avraham was looking for him, needed him, that made him important. So he benefited from the very fact that Avraham needed him. And in fact, Rashi explains that at that time, that Ephron was a very simple person, but because Avraham needed him, they appointed him as their, they appointed him as, as the leader. That's the read in Rashi. It says, now Ephron was sitting. The Hebrew word was sitting, Ephron Yoshev, as it says. It says, is spelled without a vav. It can therefore be read in the past tense, meaning that he had just sat. This teaches that on that very day, they had appointed him as an officer over them. Why? Due to the importance of Avraham, who needed him. He rose to an exalted position. Okay? So, he wasn't that generous, really. He meant for his own good. So the Torah continues to tell us, and Avraham prostrated himself before the people of the land, and he spoke to Ephron in the hearing of the people of the land, saying, but, he tells him, appreciate your offer, but I want to pay for it. It says, but if only you will listen to me, I am giving the money for the field, take it from me, and I will bury my dead there. Okay? And Ephraim now replied to Avraham, saying to him, he says to him, my Lord, listen to me. A piece of land worth 400 shekels of silver. What is it between me and you? Bury you dead. Okay? So Ephraim, and they have the big talkers. They talk. When it comes to action, they do very little. And that's exactly what Ephraim did. He was talking. Yes, I'm going to give it to you for free. But Avraham insists. He says, no, I don't want it for free. I want to pay for it. And Ephraim says, okay, you want to pay for it? Come on. Okay, 400 shekel between me and you. But no big deal. 400 shekel was a lot of money back then. And what does Avraham do? And Avraham listened to Ephraim, and Avraham weighed out to Ephraim the silver. Okay. He weighed out for Ephraim the silver, and he gives it to him. And that he had named in the hearing of the sons of Chet, 400 shekels of silver accepted by the merchant. What does that mean, accepted by the merchant? Accepted by the merchant means those were not just regular shekels. Those were currencies, such currencies. There were some currencies then that was accepted in one place, not in another place. But what Avraham gave to Ephron, this was Oivel Aseicha, accepted by the merchants, is the best shekels, the best possible currency that is accepted everywhere. And so the Torah continues, and so the field of Ephraim, which was in Machpelah facing Mamre, was established as Avraham's possession. This included the field and the cave that was in it, and all the trees that were in the field, which were within the entire border around. And it was to Avraham as a possession before the eyes of the sons of Chet, in the presence of all who had come within the gates of the city. Okay? Now, question is, why? What was the purpose? Why did Avraham have to buy it? Why did he offer to pay full price? So this we already said, we already mentioned, but Ephraim was talking a little. He was talking a lot, but doing a little. Ephraim was flattered by his new importance, offered the land for free. However, Avraham insisted of paying Ephraim, and Ephraim accepted 400 of the most valuable shekels for the land. And indeed, our sages tell us, the Medrash tells us, that there are 3 places in the land of Israel that no one can ever claim that it does not belong to the people. You know, in the land of Israel, people constantly claiming, oh, you don't belong here. But these 3 places, it says clearly that it was bought with full money. Rabbi Yudin Bar Simon said, there are 3 places of which the Gentiles cannot harass the Jewish people saying, you have stolen them. They are the cave of Machpelah, which we're talking about today, the Temple Mount, which we'll see in a moment, and Yosef's burial plot. That's when Yaakov bought for that burial plot. The cave of Machpelah, as the verse states, and Avram listened to Ephraim, and Avram weighed out to Ephraim 400 shekels of silver. The temple, as the verse states, and David gave to Arnan for the place shekels of gold, weighing 600. And Yosef's burial plot, as the verse states, and he bought the part of the field, meaning Yaakov has purchased Shechem, where Yosef is buried. The question, though, as I mentioned before, why did Avram need to buy this place in the first place? Why did he have to buy? And why did he insist on paying full price? After all, we know that God promised Avraham the land of Israel. So the land belonged to him. We see when Hashem says in Bereshis, in Genesis 12, 5-7, that says, and Avram took Sarai his wife and Lot his brother's son and all the possessions that they had acquired and the souls they had acquired in Haran, and they went to go to the land of Canaan, and they came to the land of Canaan. And Avram passed through the land until the place of Shechem, until the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanites were then in the land. And God appeared to Avram, and he said, to your offsprings I will give this land. And there he built an altar to God who had appeared to him. So we see that Avraham could have get it for free. It was his. And Ephraim insisted, Ephraim offered him for free. Says one can ask, why did Avraham, this is the Rebbe asking, why did Avraham wish to purchase the field and the cave specifically at full price, when he could have taken them even without paying? By right of God's promise to your offsprings, I will give you this land. Okay? So if the land belongs to Avraham by divine right, why was he so insistent on paying and overpaying full price for it? It was more than full price. So as we said before, that this was not the only place that was purchased with full price. We find another case also that was purchased with full price, and that is the place where King David bought to build in Jerusalem the place, the Holy Temple. This was during a terrible plague that took place in the land of Israel. And King David decided to build a temple to Hashem, and he purchased that place from Aravna or Arnan. Same person, different names. It says, and the angel of God said to Gad, the prophet, to say to David that David should go up and erect an altar to God in the threshing floor of Arnan, Aravna, the Jebusites. And David went up according to the word of God, the prophet Gad, that he spoke in the name of God, in the name of Hashem. And Arnan returned and saw the angel and his 4 sons who were with him hid themselves. And Arnan was threshing wheat, and David came up to Arnan, and Arnan looked and saw David. And he went forth from the threshing floor, and he bowed down to David with his face to the ground. And David said to Arnan, give me the place of the threshing floor so that I may build thereon an altar to God. Give it to me for the full price so that the plague be stayed from the people. So that was the instructions of the angel. So what does Arnan say? And Arnan said to David, take for yourself, and may the Lord the king do what seems good in his eyes. See, I have given the cattle for burnt offering, and the threshing tools for firewood, and the wheat for a meal offering. I have given everything. Wanted to give Arnan, who was the landlord, he wanted to give everything. He wanted to give everything to King David. But David refused. And King David said to Arnan, no, for I will buy it for the full price. For I will not take what is yours for God and offer a burnt offering for nothing. And David gave to Arnan for the place shekels of gold, weighing 600. Okay? So here too, just like in the case of Avraham, as we said, he really didn't have to buy it. The place belonged to him, God promised him. But here, King David, he was the king. And he could have taken it away. Eminent domain, no? He could have done that. And yet, he insisted to pay for it. He didn't want to take it for free. So the Rebbe explains something interesting. The Rebbe explains that, yes, he could have taken it, but if he would have gotten this as a gift, it would be still connected to the original owner. King David wanted to make sure that the place is bought out with full price and taken away completely. So now it fully belongs to the Jewish people. And they build the temple without any connection from before. Look the way the Rebbe explains this. He says, were David to take the threshing floor only by right of having conquered the city of Jerusalem, Aravna would still be somewhat associated with it. Moreover, even that Aravna gifted it to him, meaning relinquishing that association, the threshing floor would still retain its status as yours, meaning Aravna's, because he would still have retained some degree of rights to it. David therefore refused, saying, I will not take what is yours to any degree at all for God. David paid full price for it, its entire value, to transfer it entirely out of Aravna's right, so that the altar and sacrifices would be associated with him at all. So it wouldn't be associated with him at all. That's what King David wanted to make sure. It is interesting that we actually find this also regarding in halacha. Okay? So regarding halacha, it says, there's a whole list of laws in the Torah and the Talmud that discusses what is the way of acquiring real estate. What makes the actual possession becoming the owner? What makes it becoming yours? So there's different ways of acquiring. There is actually three ways of acquiring real estate. One is by transfer of money. When there's an agreed upon sum of money that is transferred, you take, and once the money is transferred, the ownership becomes, the land becomes yours. The other one is by a contract, when you sign up the deed transfer. And the third one is by taking possession of it, by taking physical possession of the land. So if, let's say, you get a house and you change the lock, you actually took physical possession of the place. And the Talmud brings proof. Where do we see in the Torah those ways, the ways of acquiring land? So here it says, the Mishnah states, fields can be acquired with monetary payment contracts or by exercising ownership of it. The Talmud asks, from where do we derive that the field may be legally acquired with money? Now, Chizkiah said, as the verse states, it brings a verse, and it states, Sadois bakesef yiknu, field shall be purchased with money. Okay? Field shall be purchased with money. Now, this verse is a verse that is taken from a different place, a different source, not from the original Torah. It's taken from the Bible, but later on in the Bible. Why doesn't the Torah, the Talmud, use the very verse that we're talking in today's parsha? We see very clear that Avraham paid money and he purchased the field. Isn't there clear proof from here that you can actually purchase property, real estate, with money, with a transfer of money? And the Rebbe explains that now that we understand that really what Avraham did, when Avraham insisted And the same thing King David. When they insisted to pay full money for it, it wasn't to acquire the land. It was the giving of the money to completely disassociate the original owner with that place. So therefore, you cannot use this as proof that you purchase land with money, because this was more than just a purchase. It was a whole different thing. It was to have completely disassociate Ephron from that land. Says the Rabbi here, it is clear why the source of the legality of purchasing real property for money cannot be from the story of Ephron. The reason Avraham gave Ephron money was not to purchase the field. After all, it would have been his in any event by right of the divine gift. God gave it to Avraham. So Avraham didn't need to really take this and purchase with money. It was by the divine gift. Rather, the purpose of giving the money was to remove any association of Ephron with the field that would remain even when the field was no longer his. Obviously, when the verse cannot be used, then the verse cannot be used as a scriptural source for acquiring land for money, because that's not what this is not what this was about. It wasn't about acquiring the land. Acquiring the land, it was given by God. God gave it to Abraham. It was about to completely remove this association of Ephron. The transaction of Avram and Ephron was not a typical land for sale. Avram didn't want the cave of Machpelah to be associated with Ephron. Now, so what is the lesson? What is it that we can learn from here? What is it, the lesson that we take from here? The idea of acquiring the land, that Avraham Avinu acquires the land, it is an idea that it is more than just land. Why did Avram insist to make sure that everything is completely taken away from Ephron? And King David, the same thing, he insisted to make sure that everything is taken away from Aravna. It is because the mission to come and acquire the land of Israel is more of a subtle, it's more of a spiritual mission. And that is that we need to make every place and everything that we come across, we have to make it holy. We have to bring the holiness to it. There's a story from the Tzemach Tzedek, the third Lubavitcher Rebbe, that there was a young man that wanted to go to Israel, wanted to move to Israel. So this goes back like 200 years ago. And obviously, the Tzemach Tzedek saw that this specific young man, that wasn't his mission to go to the land of Israel. So he told him, rather than go to Israel, he told him, make here Israel. What does that mean? He told him he has to bring the spirituality, take your mission and make the land that wherever you are, make here the land of Israel. Let's see it inside. Okay, where are we? So, just a second. Yeah, there we go, sorry. So the Tzemach Tzedek once told someone in Yechidus, at a personal audience with the Rebbe, you wish to travel to Eretz Israel, make Eretz Israel here, meaning make a dwelling place for God here in the diaspora. Mach do Eretz Israel, make here Eretz Israel. It is something that is a life mission that we have. And the life mission is to make everything, wherever we go, to make it holy. Now, in order to make something holy, it doesn't come by doing things very casually. In order to make something real, to change something real, it comes with real work. If you do something casually, it's not going to last. It's going to be very temporary. And this is the idea that Avraham insists of paying. He wanted to give everything, to purify everything completely. There is a teaching of the Zohar. It says that anyone who wishes to banish an unholy spirit must pay good money for the mitzvot he or she performs. Whatever the asking price, large or small, it should be paid. Unholy spirit always feed off emptiness and giveaways. It comes at no price and entices people to live with it. Seducing people in many ways to fall for it. Holiness is not like that. It is found only at full price and with much effort. And this is also from Rabbi Elazar ben Moshe Azikri. This is the seventh condition. One should never fulfill a mitzvah for free. Rather, one should always pay full price without consideration, so as to banish any impurity. What does that mean? It means that when you're giving something, when you're giving for free, it is not yours. It is something which the other side looks for. The holiness and purity is something to acquire. When you want to change something, is something that you have to invest. You know, the Alter Rebbe says in Tanya regarding Oved Elokim, that says the difference between one who serves God and one who serves him not. So he says one who serves God is one who studies his chapter 101 times. One who serves him not is one who studies his chapter only 100 times. If you study 100 times, you don't serve God. If you study 101 times, then you serve God. What does that mean? What's the difference that one time? And the Alter Rebbe explains, because this is back in those days, they didn't have the books, they learned everything by heart. So they would learn whatever they studied 100 times. And that was a routine. So if you did only the routine, only what everybody else does, or whatever you are used to do, then you don't serve God because you didn't give in your effort in it. But if you go 101 times, then you put your effort in it. Then you change yourself. Then you serve God. Let's see how the Alter Rebbe says this that's from the Tanya. It says, the Talmud states, one who serves God is someone who reviews his studies 101 times. One who does not serve him is someone who only reviews his studies 100 times. This is because in those days, it was customary to review each chapter 100 times. Therefore, 101st, which goes beyond the protocol from childhood training, is equal to all the previous times combined. In fact, it is greater than them, earning him the title one who serves God, because to transform one's natural inclination, a person must awake deep love for God by contemplating his greatness, empowering him to overcome the natural inclination of the animal soul. So the litmus test of success is whether we are on autopilot or investing efforts. If everything is on autopilot, this is not something that you're looking for. So this is it. The Rebbe concludes that one should not think personally, I am naturally inclined to Jewish observance. Additionally, the Torah was given to me as a gift. And for me, it's easy to keep the mitzvahs because my Yetzer Hara, my evil inclination and animal soul, go easy on me. So the need for spiritual hard work doesn't apply to me. Says the Rebbe, Avraham and David teach us otherwise. Even in the case of something that was rightfully theirs and which they could have gotten easily, they refused to accept it for free. Instead, they paid full price for it. If parts of Judaism come gifted, we need to take them a step further. You got to take it a step further. What kind of extra effort can you put in your service of God? You know, there's a story of the Tzemach Tzedek, again, the third Lubavitcher Rebbe. When he was a young man, his grandfather, the Alter Rebbe, was a very holy man, a holy person. He approached him and he offered him, told him, I want to give you a gift. What kind of gift? He wanted to give him Torah knowledge. What does it mean? Torah knowledge. The Alter Rebbe was able to do it. I don't know how. Plant a computer chip in his head that he would know the Torah. Spiritually, he was able to give it to him. That he would be able to have the Torah. The Tzemach Tzedek was thinking about it, and then he said to his grandfather, no, thank you. Didn't want to see it. Why not? He said, I don't want to have the Torah as a gift, like, click a button and I have it. I want to work on it. I want to study it. And I want to understand and to use my brains, to really ingrain it in my brain, the Torah. I don't want it to have it just, as a gift. So he refused the gift. Was he right or was he wrong? He was right, but he was wrong. And indeed, many years later, that Tzemach Tzedek himself said that he regrets it. He regrets not accepting that gift. Why? Because he said, there's plenty of work to do. I could have gotten the gift. The Torah is endless. The Torah is God's Torah, God's wisdom. God's wisdom is endless. It doesn't matter how much you study and how much you know, you can always get more and more and more. So he regretted not accepting the gift because he said that if I would have gotten this gift, I would have gone much further. But the point of this story is to us. Yes, some people for them it's easy to study Torah. They like it. So they study casually, they come to the class, they'll come online and they'll study the Torah, they enjoy it. So yes, do whatever you enjoy, but don't stop there. Keep going to the point where you have to put the effort. And the same thing is with every mitzvah. Some people enjoy helping other people, they give tzedakah. So they give. But don't stop wherever you feel comfortable. Go a little further. Some people enjoy to come to shul, to pray. So they come on Shabbos to shul. So go further. Come on Sunday, come on Monday, go a little further. That's the point over here, is don't take things for free. Yes, you accept whatever you have, but put the full effort. Just like Avraham, give the full money, put the full effort in what you do, and when you invest, then you connect, and it becomes yours, and you become identified with it. It's something that nobody can take away from you. Thank you very much for joining. May we all be able to take this lesson to heart, and we should be zeicher to see with Avraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov with Mashiach in the Beis Hamikdash with King David and with the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach. Thank you for joining.